Alright, so I've seen a lot of students struggle to make complicated shapes in Maya. So if you take this gun for example, a lot of it is very round. You can't see all sides of the gun. It's hard to copy. It can be kind of hard to make this in Maya sometimes. And I wanted to show how you can take this to ZBrush and make a part of it quickly in ZBrush, and then bring it back to Maya and add it to your model. So it's not showing how to just model in ZBrush, because I use ZBrush for almost everything, so I usually only model in ZBrush and I sometimes go into Maya. But this is more for if you like modeling in Maya, you usually model in Maya, but some things are just a little hard to make, right? So first thing I want to make is this little trigger part, and then I might make this front bit or this back bit. You know, a person can make all of this in ZBrush, and someone that knows Maya very well can probably make all of this in Maya. But I just want to show, you know, another technique. Alright, so first thing we're gonna do, we have a early stage, you know, first start to this thing. So I want to get this into ZBrush, so I'm just going to select it all. I'm going to File, Export Selection for a desktop, and you can do it in OBJ, you can do it in FBX. I'm going to do it in OBJ for now. Usually I do FBX, but I'll do it in OBJ for now. Now just do this gun part temp, export. Alright, so here we have ZBrush. If you're not familiar with ZBrush, maybe watch some videos on how to get familiar with ZBrush first, but I'm going to start with this, showing you pretty much, not going too much into the basics or anything like that. And I'm just going to stick this in the corner here, make it a little bit smaller, like that. That's fine. Alright, so let's get rid of the light box. And we have nothing here, so we want to grab the cylinder and put it in, and then we want to go to edit, so we can go in 3D mode, and we're going to make it 3D, so make 3D. And now we're going to import. I'm going to go to desktop, and we're going to grab our gun part. And this is what it looks like. It looks really rough because it doesn't have any softening effect. So if you go to Maya and you select your model and you go to Mesh Display and you go Harden, this is what you see in ZBrush. So there's no soften effect in ZBrush. But this is fine. So we want to make the trigger part, right? So let's see, where does it start? So the pretty much starts from the back here, from back over here. So if I put this here, something I like to do sometimes, I go to Windows and I type in snip, and I use this snip and sketch. I click new, I can grab this, and now I can do a drawing. So this starts from the very bottom of this part. So let's grab a pink. So this goes kind of like this, and this is going kind of like this. And then you have this part that goes here. So let's grab this part, and this goes down like that, and something like this. So we need something that goes down and then up and goes forward, and it stops at this part. Actually stops right here, because this goes down like that, goes it goes forward just here, and then back, and then it goes all the way back like this. So we have something, we want to make something like that. Not exactly, but you know, close enough for an example. Maybe something like this, and this is kind of like this, and we have some kind of detail here that goes like this. So something like that. That's fine. So we can look at this, and if we want to see it, we can go see through. Ooh, let's bring it up actually. Like this, and then let's go back to ZBrush, and if you want to see it, we can go see through, just to remind ourselves what we're making. Or we can also save this on the desktop and then bring it back into ZBrush to look at. Or actually we could just go here and we can open it, we can copy, then we can go to Pure Ref. If you don't have Pure Ref, it's very useful. And you can Control V, and we have it here now that we can look at as well. Alright, great. Let's keep this all here nice and useful. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can increase the size of this, but I don't remember how. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. And we can look at both of these like that. Cool. I can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. Alright, so we start from here and we go to the front. Cool. So let's go to Subtool, and now I'm going to insert. Now I'm just going to insert a sphere, really. Throw in a sphere, stick it somewhere here. Grab B and V for move. Press X so you have symmetry. And let's move this down into a position. So we're just doing the trigger, right? So we need something that goes like this and goes down under here, goes forwards a little bit, and then it goes back down like this and around, something like that. Let's get something like that. And it looks really weird from that side, but that's okay. Let's do something like this. Grab B and then clay. So B brings up your brushes, or you could just click here. I want clay, and I'll bring this up like that. Just do some simple sculpting. Soften it a little. And here I'm gonna grab B and then H for H polish. So H for H polish. And you can see down here the buttons I'm clicking as well. So B and V for move. Let's make this a little wider. And personally, when I'm working in ZBrush, I actually use a lot of different features. I wouldn't do it exactly like this, but I want to show, just for someone that doesn't even know all the features, just knows like how to do really basic modeling. You can still do stuff like this. It would be useful to learn the advanced features. They let you do some really cool stuff, but that's not what I'm trying to show right now. So we have something like this, and that kind of looks like a trigger, you know, a little bit, but the back is a little thicker than the front. So the front here is actually a lot thinner. It's kind of like this, and maybe it's a bit thicker near the front and near the top, but the bottom is quite thin. You can do something like this and soften a bit. Grab H again and just soften it, and you can see this is getting a little hard to work with. If I show you the lines, it's a bit terrible. So we can go to Geometry, and shift click to open without closing anything, Dynamesh, and we're just going to Dynamesh. And now it's a little easier to work on. You can do stuff like this. I'm holding Alt as well whilst using H polish to make it, to pull out the hardness or push it in. And I want this top part to be a little harder. And then I want it to go down like this. So I'm holding Alt whilst drawing with H polish. And I'm getting these really hard lines. And then I actually want this to go. This is okay actually. You can get this kind of shape. So I'm just using my sculpting skills to create something. And I say using sculpting skills because, you know, I'm using what I already know to make a shape. So if you're not very experienced with using ZBrush, maybe it's going to be a little harder for you to make certain details. So I'm using Damp Standard now. I'm going to use Move again. Just push this in. But just try to make even just a even simpler version of the shape you're trying to make, just to make it a little easier for you when you go back into Maya. And we'll be going back to Maya in a second. I just want to get this looking a little more okay. Just a little more okay. because right now it's quite thick, and then here it's quite thin. So this was almost something like this. Getting it a little more, trying to get the right shape, right? Because what what we want to do is we want to get a nice shape, and this is actually a little higher, quite a bit higher actually, like this, kind of like this. You can still tell it, like it's quite. This isn't, you know, this isn't beautiful or anything. That's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to get a simple version of this high resolution complex shape, but you know, simple, making it simply. And like this is probably gonna go like that, and this is fine. This may be a little round even, maybe. Smoothing. Alright, let's say we're happy with this. I'm not gonna change the middle. I'm gonna do that in Maya. Let's say we want something like this, and let's actually just push this in a bit, just to make it look a little more okay. A little okay. That's all we're going for. We're going for okay. We're not going for amazing yet. Not yet. Just for okay for now. Something like this. Okay, so this is kind of like a start, right? You can push it all up and down a little bit. Get this okay. Alright, something like this. Not too bad, not too good. It's good for now. Actually, I would just get rid of these as well. Flat, flat, flat. Great. Cool. So, now we want this in Maya. So, I'm going to... first I'm going to finish flattening this, just because it's annoying me. So, first I'm going to go to the bottom with this selected, go to export, and I'm going to take all of these off. They're just little options. I just don't want to use them right now. I'm still sculpting, aren't I? I'm still putting in details. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what happens when you put me in ZBrush. Okay, so we take off all these details, and then we want to go up and we want to export. I'm going to put it on the desktop. I'm just going to call it like trigger ref temporary, and we're going to minimize ZBrush. Minimize this and go back to Maya. Now in Maya, we're going to file and we're going to import, and we're going to import what we just made. Trigger ref temp, and this is what it looks like. Wow, not useful at all, right? Okay, so here's what we do next. We select this, we click this magnet. The magnet doesn't have anything, and now it's a live surface. That means you can't select it, but you can do other things. So what we can do is we can go to our modeling toolkit here, and we can quad draw. So I'm gonna just hide this so I have a bit more space. Actually, I'm gonna hide this as well. And we can quad draw. So if we have this enabled, when you click quad draw, and I'm actually gonna hide this for now. Let's click quad draw, and now whatever is on top of this Polymesh 3D, we can click on it, and we can create these points. And if we hold Shift, we can turn them into geometry. Now let's see if there's anything that's not working. Is everything fine? This is okay. This is fine. This is alright. Let's get rid of this reference. Everything should be okay. Quad draw. There we go. Okay, it's working now. There was some kind of problem. So we selected the thing we put in. We click the little magnet. It's now live, as we say, and we can click quad draw. And now we can create a new mesh. And you see, as soon as we start, it's going to make a new surface, and we can continue making it. Make sure you have your symmetry on, world X. And now when you click, it will do it on both sides. And essentially, this is the main part, right? we make a simple shape in ZBrush, and then we create it into a mesh in Maya. So I'm going to start from here, and see in the middle you get it to be one single point when you go to the middle. So I'm going to go all the way around. Here it's a bit round, so I'm going to put a few more. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. And if you've never done this, this is called the retopology. If you've never done this sort of thing before, it's going to take a little bit of practice, but you know, it's useful for a lot of things. Character artists use it the most. So me being a character artist, I'm very comfortable doing this sort of thing. I'm actually going to put this to a point. But maybe you haven't done it before, maybe it's a little harder, that's okay. Just practice. It's a very useful skill to have, doing these kind of complex shapes, because it just lets you model things that are harder to make. And other Maya artists who don't know how to use, other environment artists or prop artists or whoever it is, if they don't know how to do this stuff, then you have something that they don't, and that's good for you. Maybe not for them. Let's do something like this. Bada bing, bada boom. And I'm gonna just finish this model doing this sort of thing, and I'm gonna speed up the video here so you don't have to look at me do this all day and think of what to talk about. Just to mention, if you go down here, you have shortcuts and you can read what they all do. I'll just tell you very quick. Obviously, when you click, you create a point. If you hold shift, it tries to connect it with any other points. If you hold control shift, it will get rid of things, so you can get rid of an edge or a point or a face. And if you hold control, it will add on edges, like this, whole edges. And if you hold shift, you can relax as well. So if you've never used it before, those are the main parts. Okay, I'm gonna speed up again. Okay, so now we have something like this. We can take off the magnet and we can hide the reference, and we have a shape like this. And this is a lot more complex than you know, if we made it by hand. Let's move it down a little, and now we can just smooth the whole thing. I just play soften, and we're gonna select these edges, make them harder, just add a bit of detail there. And we could make like this edge harder as well if we want to try and make it look cool. Harden this edge as well. Maybe some other edges if we want. But for now I'm just going to keep it like this. Maybe I'll grab this. And now we don't have this anymore. We can just freely model. And I'm going to bring the other two back now as well. so we can see what's going on. These ones we could probably even, are these okay? We could lift these up actually a little, like this, just so they go in, and then we don't have to worry about you know, doing any kind of filling those holes or anything. We can just leave those empty. We can do something like this so it fits in with the rest of the model. We can grab the middle sides and we can just bridge. They're going to bridge to each other. And we can add a division, which isn't very good. Let's just grab this and then scale it in like that. That's a bit better. I think it's because we have symmetry on, so we take off symmetry and now it's better, right? So you needed to take off symmetry to get that working. Actually, no, it's done it the wrong way. Hold on. You see it's going up one, so we want it like that. That's fine, that's what we want. Let's take the symmetry off, and let's connect these. So you can grab all of these like that, and then you can just click in Edit Mesh, Connect. I already have it here. Connect, bam. And have something right in the middle, and you can like scale it in if you want to make it a bit rounder. And you can select these. Let's get our symmetry back. You can select these round bits, these round bits, this round bit, the mesh display, soften edge, and that's crazy. Maybe let's keep these ones hard for now, but the middle can be soft, and we can just carry on modeling this and working on it. But there you go, you have a shape that's a little more complicated. It's a little harder to, you know, to make if you're just using in Maya. It looks interesting. You can change bits about it now. You can do all sorts of kind of different stuff, and it's just part of the model. You can just throw it back into ZBrush if you want to change it using the sculpting brushes. Also here you have sculpting brushes, so you can probably like, let me see, I haven't used these brushes in a long time. There we go. And you can like do stuff as well in Maya if you want. I don't like using these, but it's something you can do. So that's how you can, you know, make a shape that's a little more complicated in ZBrush, bring it back, turn the reference that you made into a live object with this, then using quad draw to draw on it and retopologize, and then make something that's a little more complicated. Yeah, that's pretty much the main part. I think all I'm gonna do now is I'm going to make this part of the handle and this part, just to show you some more ways of how I do it, but it's gonna be fast, so it's gonna be all sped up. So that will be the last you hear from me. Thanks for watching. I'm hoping this was useful.